Africans of Reddit, what cultural differences separate your country from the rest of Africa? Before we start with the video, comment your answer. Hit that like button, subscribe and turn on notification bell. We clap our hands as a sign of gratitude and respect. You do this when someone is passing you something, e.g. a plate of food or any object really. What is your country? This is very interesting. Zimbabwe. You clap twice with your hands cupped. There's a slight difference between how men and women do it. Check out this video where they are reciting a Shona praise poem and clapping their hands during the whole poem. As a Kenyan, we run. But TBH, that's just one tribe. We have 42 of them. Same as most African countries with 30 plus tribes. Since most countries are less than 60 years old, we don't tend to have a real national identity. Most Africans identify first as their tribes and then as their country. However, outside Africa we become more patriotic, I guess, since we need an identity, I guess. So true lol. Fellow Kenyan. Do you own the bracelet? I'm Tanzanian, and even I own the bracelet. What is the bracelet? I'm North American, so I apologize for my ignorance, but I like learning new things. It's a bracelet with the Kenyan flag that's really popular with us Kenyan citizens. Most people have them as a symbol of our patriotism. It's sort of like how you guys have guns. Kenyan born in the US. When I first visited Kenya they got me one with the US flag on the other side. Rite of passage. I then bought a second one. Ghana. Uber is available here since one of the execs of the company is Ghanaian. Also, our funerals are a really elaborate party, as shown in that meme. I spent about a month in Ghana in 2011. Was invited to a party in a village in Volta. It was a huge dance party, and as anyone who's been to Ghana knows, it was hella fun. I noticed a bunch of people surrounding a dude on a chair in the corner. Went over. Turned out it was a dead guy who'd been embalmed and was just sitting there while everyone paid their respects. I'd actually been invited to a funeral. That was an experience I'll never forget. Edit. Now that this comment has blown up, let me tell you that you should go to Ghana on your next vacation. It'll change your life. For real. Yes, people do everything from putting the deceased in intricate or just plain weird caskets, like shaped like animals, other objects, to just straight up having them sit or stand somewhere during the funeral. Such a difficult question to answer. Even within countries, there are significant cultural differences. Example, I'm Kenyan, from a community called Kikuyu. Kikuyus are as culturally different from, say, the famous Maasai people, as a Scotsman is from an Welshman, even though both of those are British. In Kenya alone, there are 45 different communities or tribes, think Scottish, English, Welsh, Northern Irish, etc. as the tribes of the UK. And most other African countries are also the same. This results in wide-ranging cultural differences even for closely neighboring countries. So things like language, marriage customs, rites of passage, handling death, etc. are all totally different and alien to communities living just a few hundred kilometers from each other. For example, in the Dinka tribe in Kenya's neighbor Sudan, the men scar their faces as a rite of passage. That sounds just as bizarre to me as it would to a European or a Chinese person. So the short answer to what cultural differences separate your country from the rest of Africa? Is just like community, we'd need number 6 season Sandamovie to explain it all. I'm half Kenyan and half Ugandan. My Kenyan parent is half Kisii, then 1/4 Luo and 1/4 Kalenjin. I have no idea what my Ugandan parent is, they never tell us anything about where they're from. All I know is they speak either Buganda or Luganda, all this variety from 2 countries. Wow, a complete mixed bag, lol. You can only tell people that your ethnicity is East African. But I believe these ethnic mixtures are great for social cohesion and appreciating other cultures. To add another layer to the mix, my parents emigrated to the Middle East right when I was born, so I've grown up like an Arab kid. I even went to an international school, so my accent is the definition of nondescript. I don't know if this counts, but we are the music capital of Africa. Nigeria. Yep. You should have said we make the best J rice. I can basically feel Senegal's rage from all the way here in SA. I bought jollof rice from a West African restaurant in Chicago the other day for my Nigerian girlfriend and was treated to a good 15-minute lesson on how this was too soft jollof rice. This was that shitty Ghanaian jollof rice. Even the Ghanaians know their jollof rice is shit. Jollof rice was invented in Nigeria And it's the national dish, and only Nigerians truly know how to make it right. Smile and nod, white boys Egler. Smile, nod, don't get jollof rice from that place again. I actually like the rice, but don't tell her that. Tanzanian here. Well, I've noticed that Tanzanians tend to be very quick to get personal with each other, and casual flirting is basically normal and an easygoing thing. After living in a few other countries, I just found that Tanzanians by nature have a more casual attitude to everything. With random strangers easily treating you as their own child or relative within minutes of meeting. And it being normal to flirt with random shopkeepers, attendants and conductors. It further helps that everyone speaks the same language, culture and religion is not very strict and doesn't separate people too much. I grew up outside of Tanzania and moved back for a while as a teenager, and it blew me away at first how easygoing everything was. Living away from home now makes me miss how I could strike up fun and insightful conversations everywhere I go, and always joke around and flirt with people I didn't even know. Genuinely helped a lot in getting over my social anxiety. My main takeaway from a trip to Tanzania was the attitude of Pol. It's just so damn perfect. Why the need for everything to be rushed? Just relax, things will work out, but in the meantime, Pol Rafiki. Yes, this attitude is great, but can also be a bit annoying in official matters, but when balanced well makes life a lot easier to live. As we say, haraka haraka, haina baraka. Basically chill, don't rush, nothing good comes from it. We are the continent's most recent real democracy. Judges stood up to the president and said the sham of an election wasn't good enough. People were inspired and queued to vote in the election rerun, removing the old government. So proud of my country. This is Malawi, for anyone wondering. Hopefully you guys can join Botswana in the top tier of Africa. Also, Malawi has a really cool flag. Oh yeah man, I think that flag rocks, that's some great design. Honest question, what's been going on in Botswana lately to make it top tier? Does their democratic system also show promise? Well, we don't consider ourselves Africans and half the population keep debating if we are Arab or not. Egypt? Yes. As an Algerian and Moroccan, I feel you. I consider myself African, but others label me as an Arab. The problem in Egypt is like Morocco and Algeria, Berbers, and we have ethnic Egyptians. Most of North Africa has a lot of Arab ancestors from the Caliphate times, while we also have a lot of native people with native ancestry, so people don't know what to refer to us. Are we Egyptians, Berbers or Arabs or Africans? I understand, but for Algeria a lot of people are Berber, which is one of the oldest tribes in Africa, making majority of us African. Not too familiar with Egypt, but that's how I see it for us. Lol. Let me tell you something. I'm an Indian and an East Asian woman told me to my face that I'm not Asian but an Indian. Answering this question is quite difficult because Africans, speaking as a Ugandan, don't usually have cultural practices that unify a country because there are many tribes that exist within a country that all have different practices. As a Ugandan, I identify as a Muganda from the central region of the country. In my region we have a king who is the head of the different clans. Different clans also have their own clan leaders. What would separate my region from other regions is the language we speak, it's called Luganda. We also have madak as our staple food, and our kingdom is one of the last ones standing as many were disintegrated by British colonial rule. As a Ugandan, what is close to a cultural practice is that we greet people when we meet them before doing business with them. If I go to the shop to purchase items, I will first greet the shop attendant. If I report to work in the morning, it's kind of mandatory to greet my workmates as soon as I get in. This, however, is common practice in most African countries. What you have asked is a question I can take the whole day answering, because then I will have to get into regions, tribes, clans, chiefdoms and kingdoms. I have answered the easiest way I can. This reminds me of living in a student flat with 5 international students from Africa, and I was the lone Aussie. In the early days I would come home, say hey to the room in general, then go about my day. Once we become friends, I found out they initially found this really rude as I hadn't acknowledged each of them individually. Interesting cultural difference. Acknowledging everyone individually sounds so exhausting. Not having been colonized, hosting the political capital of Africa, having one of the oldest forms of Christianity and Judaism, having some of the continent's most beautiful women and eating a flat pancake with tons of different stews as our national dish. Oh, we also are one of the few countries, if I'm not mistaken, with an indigenous alphabet that is used in the country's primary language.